Hi, it's me time. You deserve it. My name's Christine L. Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff, a channel for women over 50 who are getting happy and growing younger. This is the final part in a series of videos about goal setting, so if you haven't watched any of those, I'll leave a link and you can go back and watch them in sequence. Okay, let me apologise for the rain you can hear thundering down. It actually started as snow today, but now it's turned to rain, unfortunately. Okay, so it's me time. What does that mean? Well, by now you have whooped and smartened your goals and hopefully even taken the first step. This is lovely. This is a lovely exercise that I'm going to ask you to do today, and you're going to so enjoy it, I promise you. Okay, so you need a pen and paper, and what I'm going to ask you to do is quite simply write down 10 things that give you pleasure. 10 things. They can be big, they can be small, but I want 10 things. And I'm not going to give you any ideas. I'll tell you my 10 things when you come back. But just for now, pause me and start writing 10 things. I call this exercise digging for pleasure. See what I did there? Okay, pause me. I'll wait for you. Okay, so you've now got 10 things that give you pleasure. What I want you to do with those 10 things, you're going to use them to reward yourself for each step that you take towards achieving your goal. So if you had 6 steps that were going to take you to your goal, for each one of those steps you now have something that you can say to yourself, when I've completed that step, I'm going to reward myself with one of these things. Okay, this is so powerful, I promise you. My 10 things, let me give you some simple things. So I talk, as I say, in Stitch Your Own Silver Linings, I call it digging for pleasure. And some of the things I talk about in there, I like cut flowers. Now, as you know, I reward myself with cut flowers anyway, and they come to my home once a fortnight. In fact, this time, because I mentioned it before, I filmed Mr. Kitchen arranging them when they first arrived and then cutting them down again for the second week. And I filmed him doing that, so at some point I'll show you that. But then I split them up into little arrangements like this too. I actually match my flowers today, don't I? Okay, so I like cut flowers. I like a long hot soak in the bath. That's a simple one. You know, it doesn't have to cost you any money. But since Christmas, when I received this beautiful perfumed candle, I'm going to leave a link below to this. I can't describe what that smells like, but you know, in some scented candles you can smell the kind of paraffin wax at the back of it. You can't smell that with this. The beauty of this is once the wax is melted, when you've finished your bath and blown out the candle, you can tip the oil into your hand and it's the most gorgeous moisturising body oil. So that's something I do. I'm going to have like half an hour's bath. Now, it sounds a simple thing that, but you know, if you're busy, if you've got young children or grandchildren staying, half an hour on your own soaking is bliss. So use that to reward yourself. I like to read books. I spend my whole working life reading books, either on the computer or books themselves, but they tend to be reference or work associated. So I reward myself with half an hour's fiction reading. So I might say when I've done half an hour's yoga, then I'm going to sit down for half an hour and read my book. So there's that. Going to the cinema. I enjoy going to the cinema, so I'll use that. When I've done this, I'll allow myself to go to the cinema. You see how this works? What you must not use, ladies, is a glass of wine, a piece of cake or chocolate. They are not to be on your list in terms of rewarding yourself for things that you do. This is about me time, giving yourself some special me time for something that you like to do. And you can, as you go along, so perhaps a small reward for a small step, working up to a huge reward for a big step. So I have a client who had her eye on a designer handbag, which cost the earth, I have to say. But she's put that right at the very end. So that's her final reward for actually achieving the goal itself and not the steps. So you see the way I'm working with this. Write them down, 10 things that give you pleasure. and then I want you to put the top 3 in the comments box below so that we can see the top things that give you pleasure. And then you never know, someone else might read that and think, oh yes, I'll add that to my list, and put it on their own list. So if you can do that, and as I say, pair up your the things that give you pleasure or your rewards with the steps, so that you know, when I've achieved that step, I'm going to allow myself to do that. And then the second step, to do that. Now, you may think that you don't need that kind of motivation, that the end goal is motivation enough, and that's great. Do it anyway, because sometimes when you're not feeling, up to par, and you might think, oh, I don't really want to take that step, or you're getting just lacking a little bit of motivation, this can be the thing that gives you the kick that you need. That's apart from me being behind you, giving you the kick that you need. That's a much more pleasurable way of doing it, rewarding yourself with something. So, if you can just leave your top 3 things in the comments box below, that would be great. Okie doke. So, if you haven't subscribed already, and please remember to hit the little bell. I know this must be tedious for those of you who watch every video and have already subscribed and hit the bell, and I'm sorry for that, but sometimes things seem to go a little bit wonky at YouTube. I don't know, because I get people telling me that they're not being notified. So please subscribe if you haven't done already, and don't forget to hit the little bell. Okay, thank you so much for being here. You know how much I appreciate you, and I look forward to reading all your comments. See you next time. Bye-bye.